Hello. Well, welcome back to TS, where we tell it like it is and let the chips fall where they bloody hell may. All right? And as we say all the time, truth crashed to earth shall rise again. We are dang. When you crash the truth to the earth, the truth is like a cork. It will rise again. Keep that in mind, though. And the final thing I say is this. Folks, why am I talking plenty like this? Because we are at a certain time. What time is it, folks? It's nation time. It's nation time. It is time for us to build this nation. Not for my sake, but for the sake of our youth, for the sake of the next generation. We have to build this nation. Because whether you like it or not, and this time, youth, I'm talking to you, stop crossing the bloody Sahara Desert to go abroad. All we want to do is to make Ghana so attractive that you don't have to do that. Sure, you have to travel and expand your horizon and everything, but it is not something you must do to survive. But now that you must do that to survive, I am saying let's build this nation to the point that you don't have to cross the desert. You don't have to go and drown on the seas just because that is so sad and it is so wrong. And I'm saying any government, any party that comes into power that will work hard to make sure we bring an end to this. That's a party of my own heart. Why am I talking plenty like this? Just because I say we should build this nation. Why? Because folks, I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of Jandam. Jandam is simply doing all you can to make sure that you throw dust in the eyes of people so that it makes you look good. And Jandam happens in politics, especially in politics. Destroy your opponent. Throw dust in the eyes of the people so that the end game is that the people will actually start creating disaffection among the people. Jandam. That's why I say we shall fight Jandam this time. We shall crash your Jandam with the truth. I said, that's all. I'm not going to concoct anything. I'm just going to come up with the truth and crash the Jandam. So welcome to TALKSHOP, where we tell it like it is and let the chips fall where they may. By the way, Friday, TALKSHOP is back. Remember one time I did a show, and I think it's called Funalytics. And Funalytics was also my own analytics, not based on any data, just based on my own research and feelings. Friday, I want you to tune in because I will be doing my own Funalytics on the NPP presidential context. Friday, so join me this Friday and listen to my own, I don't call it analytics, I call it Funalytics because it is fun. It's not based on any data. Join me on Friday. But today, folks, I'm going to keep it very, very short, Today, believe it or not, is a quick advice to my friends, my brothers, my younger friends and brothers in the NPP. Please take this very, very seriously. You may hate me for this, you may condemn me for this, but one day in the future, you will have said, I guess you should have listened. With all respect, press conferences are not dorsal. There's too many press conferences. The slightest agitation, come on, let's hold a press conference. You see, when you institutionalize press conferences, the negative effect it will have is that it will be something that is so often that it loses its power and it loses its effectiveness. Trust me. So next time you're doing a press conference, all that will say, would they be a press conference and overrule it? Although the people in your camp would share you and say, yeah. Look, the agenda of being in a position is not to strengthen your base. Oh. Your base, there you have it. It is to make sure that you keep that base and attract other people to your base. But when you keep doing press conferences, even your own base will start getting tired. What else is new? So trust me, if your own base is getting tired, then the other bases that really do not belong, nowhere can you attract that base. And I say it all the time, winning political power is about winning the hearts and the minds of the people. So honestly, if you want to win the hearts and the minds of the people, it's not about press conferencing every second. It makes you guys look like alarmists. Everything is an alarm. Hey, Charlie. No, take your time. Analyze. Make sure that you have your facts and everything together so tight that when you do a press conference, people are shaking. But don't institutionalize to the point that when you do a press conference, it is disregarded. And I'm sorry to say that's what you're getting. Let me tell you a quick story. And this goes to my dear friends in the mighty minority. Sadly, maybe because of my age, I can advise you as my younger brothers. Trust me, look, when something is mighty, it doesn't even mention it is mighty. Let me give you a little bit of history for those of you, plenty of you who were not born then. Once upon a time in Senegal, you know, the French people were ruling Senegalese colonialization. French was under Senegal. And at one point, they had a policy called assimilation. And the assimilation is that if any Senegalese or any Africans in their colonized places, if any African could learn to speak the French language, could learn to behave like the French, can learn to support the French in everything they do, then they honor you. And what's the honor? They give you citizenship of France. Different assimilation. Assimilate the Negroes. Let them talk like you. Let them eat like you. And when they reach the mark that you are happy, say, Chale, I've assimilated this Negro, I'll honor him as a citizen of France. Assimilado, I think that's the French word. My French in But the policy was called assimilation. One of the African leaders then at Senegal, I think it's called Senghor, right? Senghor, in reaction to this assimilation, wrote a book called Tigritude. And do you know what Tigritude is? He says, hey, we're Africans. Back in the days, we used to call ourselves Negroes. He says, hey, we're Africans, we are Negroes. We also have values. We also have systems. So we must be proud of our values and our systems. And that is what he summed it all up in his book as Tigritude. Say, he was telling the people of Senegal, please don't rush to be assimilated into the French culture. No. Why? Because we have our own negritude. It sounds like a very intelligent thing, right? Until, what's his name? Wole Soyinka of Nigeria, that profound Nigerian writer. He wrote something and he said, a tiger does not have to proclaim its tigritude. Because Senghor has come up with negritude. Say, Negroes should be proud of themselves. They should be that they are also your people. Then Wole Soyinka said, a tiger does not need to proclaim its tigritude. He says, when you see a tiger, it is fierce. When you see the tiger, just the structure. When you see the tiger, the way it roars, nobody will tell you that this is the tiger. So in effect, when you see a tiger, you don't say Chalemesha tiger. So the tiger does not need to come and boast and say, I have tigritude. The long story short, my advice, minority, please, honestly, believe me, there is no need to call yourselves mighty. The fact that you call yourself mighty in itself,
the mighty minority, the mighty minority, the mighty minority,
It's an admission that you don't think you are mighty, so you have to make noise so that people see you as mighty. So you take that tag, we are the mighty, we are the mighty.
We are few, but we are a mighty few.
Please, if you are mighty, it's not calling yourself mighty that makes you mighty. It's the level of your debate. It's in the level of your strategy. It's in the level of your planning. Look, it's in the level of what comes out of you that is so profound. The people sitting somewhere will just say, hey, Charlie, did you hear what the man said? Charlie, Chris, me mighty you. You don't use that word though. But the impact of your strategies, the impact of your thinking, the impact of your statements, when it hits the ground, people are sitting down and saying, Charlie, I have to give it to them. This minority, only mighty. So when you take the lead and start proclaiming yourselves mighty, 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 it means something. Folks, the tiger does not have to proclaim its tigritude. And on that note, my dear young brothers and sisters, the mighty do not have to proclaim their might. Let your might come up in your debate. Let your might come out in your strategy. Sometimes it's even strategic to remain quiet. Nobody knows what you're thinking. Nobody knows what you're doing. But this constant, I'm always in your face, constant, I always have a problem, diminishes you, folks. It takes away from your might. It makes you a regular person. On that note, my dear people in the mighty minority, might is not proclaimed though. Might is expressed by the way your thinking goes. Having said that, folks, I'm doing all of this because yes, I believe in nation building. It is something for which I am prepared to sacrifice the rest of my life to get people to understand nation building. I am prepared to sacrifice the rest of my life, whatever is left of it, to get you, the youth out there, everybody in Ghana, to understand that this is the only country we have. We don't have any other country. And our only option is to build this nation for it to become the nation that people will say, wow, have you read of Ghana? And that has started. I kid you not. Ghana is in the forefront of everything. Now, internationally, investors, everybody is thinking, Charlie, if I'm going to invest in Africa, I must go to Ghana.
Anytime I meet the IMF officials and the World Bank officials, they themselves cannot believe, what has happened in Ghana. So Ghana has now become the poster boy, of the IMF and the World Bank. So when they go to other African countries, they say, don't you see Ghana? Look at what Ghana has done.
And it's not by accident. It is that we have proved ourselves. We didn't declare ourselves that Ghana is mighty. We didn't proclaim you. But the discipline in our fiscal sector, thank God to Mahama, your direction, thank God to Atoforsen, your discipline, thank God to the Bank of Ghana, all of that combined is giving signals. Say, Charlie, this country is getting its act together. And all I'm saying, folks, is if in fact we are getting our act together, what is wrong with all of us coming together and supporting that we get our act together? What is this, excuse my language, respectfully, constant need to do a presser to explain things? There was one recently about holding power to account, and I salute. We need an opposition. Nobody wants a one party that can go rogue and do foolishness. No. If the NDC should go rogue and start doing foolishness, trust me, I'll be one of the first to say, what is wrong with you people? Why are you losing guard? Come back on track and build this nation. Recently there was a holding power to account, and I say it's your constitutional right. You can have as many press conferences that you want, but don't be alarmist. Don't be jumping to, my dear nephew, Afenyo Markin, actually raised the third term issue again. And he says he knows that Mahama has made some pronouncement somewhere outside Ghana. Come and say it in Ghana. Mahama, I want you to repeat it in Ghana. This is what he said.
This presser may not be done and done well without at least talking about this third term agenda. We are aware that Mr. President himself says he's not interested in third term agenda. But we take this opportunity to also mention to Mr. President that, Mr. President, we are aware that many of your party members want to put the agenda. Please tell them one more time. Maybe when you said so in Singapore, they didn't hear you. Mr. President, you haven't spoken about your non-interest in third term in Ghana. Please, tell your people that you are not interested at all. They shouldn't lead you into temptation. And by the way, it is not possible.
But listen to this, folks. We are in a new age. We are in a new generation. We are in a new era. Mahama can just get on his Twitter and tweet, "I will not run for a third term," and click. The next day is worldwide. All I'm saying is that we have reached the point that you don't have to be in Ghana to say things to make it effective. You can say it in Switzerland, you can say it in Tokyo, you can say it in Cosmo, whatever. You can click it, and it's nationwide. So please, I am thinking this whole agenda of the third term thing, which was started some time ago, which is almost beginning to look like it was a Jandam thing, is dying, so it has to be revived and say, look, it can't, let's warn you, come and say it in Ghana, because if you don't say it, we will never let it happen, And frankly, I think when you get to the point where you even start questioning the integrity of the Chief Justice, it's sad. When you start questioning the integrity of the Chief Justice and actually imply that the Chief Justice is loyal to their paymaster.
We also have this to tell my Lord Bafoboni. We know that this job was handed to you on a silver platter. We know that you have your masters to please.
Basically, what that means in real English is that Chief Justice, either NDC or Mahama is paying the Chief Justice. They are his paymasters, so they are loyal to him. It is not right. You have slandered the judiciary. Unless you're suggesting, and I won't agree with you, unless you're suggesting that you have the feeling and the proof and the evidence that Tigritude was also working for his paymaster, which is Akufo-Addo and the NPP. Is that the situation? If that is the situation, then I can see why you think this way. If that is not the situation, then please, let us not demean the judiciary on a very, very important public platform. I beg you, my nephew, you are my nephew. I invite you to come here, sit down one-on-one with me, and let's talk about this unfiltered. I'll be very, very happy to. Maybe I'm not educated on certain things. Come and educate me and expect that I also ask you the relevant questions, because some of the things are starting to worry me. You're tigers, but you're too eager to proclaim your tigritude. It is not necessary. With all respect, my nephew, talking about you challenge and you do this and that, if they have to send out halt and swim, we'll go to swim.
The mighty minority is watching you. We will not be silenced by threat of contempt. If by criticizing the judiciary, they will march us into Nsawam, we are ready to become prisoners of conscience.
Oh, my nephew, Pacho, respectfully, Kakra. Really? that you make so much noise that the Chief Justice said, Chale, all of you must swim. Think about this, folks. This makes good viral headlines. You know, we are prepared to die in swim. Afenyo Markin. Now viral. This makes just headlines. But in terms of strategic thinking, it doesn't add any value. Why do you want to go to Zoom? Why? Why is it even necessary to bring that up? That if you have to go to Zoom, we will consume. For what? If, with all respect, with all respects, the minority of the opposition is prepared to keep the government on its toes by bringing out actual, substantive, documented evidence of wrongdoing, why not? And even if that would happen, why will the Chief Justice say, because of doing something that substantive, because of doing something that positive, because of doing something that the whole nation needs, I'm taking you all to swim? Why? Identity. On what grounds? It doesn't make sense. So this is why I feel that sometimes your exuberance in trying to proclaim leadership maybe sidesteps your decision to manage a very solid opposition. And my nephew, you are a trained lawyer, very seasoned lawyer, and that is the more reason I expect even better strategic thinking from you. Look, let's be real, and this goes to all parties, all politicians. The people in your base, they are there. There's nothing you can do that can, if you will, get them to turn their backs on you. They are your base. I must sign it till death do us part. So please be thinking and be aware that when you are appealing to your base, when you are free, it is no work done. It is only when you are intelligently packaged stuff to appeal to people beyond your base. That's what we're talking about. When you win the hearts and the souls and the minds of the people beyond your base, then you know you're working. But when you start losing even the people in your base, you are misfiring. So this is my short advice. The problem I think the NPP is having now is that they are trying so hard to prove that things are bad and things are worse off than before. But the problem is that you're dealing with Ghanaians who are living in Ghana, who are in Ghana during the last 8 years of the era of decadence, and they know and they can compare. So please don't be dismissive of certain things. Let me end here because today I don't want to talk too much, because I'm saving all my kappa for Friday. Friday tune, you know, I'm doing what I call the KSM fun analytics. This is not exactly the global analytics. So on the data, on my research. Mine is not based on any data. The feelings I make, but trust me, my feelings can be very dangerous. It can be very, very powerful. So just join me on Friday for the edition of TALKSHOP, which is dealing with analysis of the election coming up in the NPP. What do I think about that? Oh, folks, you can't wait to hear me. So in the meantime, in between time, folks, let me draw your attention to something, please. And today I've been talking to the minority. Please, become a mighty in your thoughts, in your deeds. Become a might in your expressions, in your agenda, and not by verbal proclamation. The tiger does not have to proclaim his tigritude. Okay? So on that note, Ghana we'll be talking, because we have every reason to believe that if we stay the course, things are going to change. No more crossing of the desert to any man's land. So to the youth of Ghana, keep hope alive, and to all of you who are listening to me, Ghana, I swear to God, shall rise again.